Welcome back to yet another episode of Mom Q&A with Mama's Uncut, where we answer your anonymous questions about parenthood, mothering, and relationships. Again, we have Lisa and Mindy. How are you guys?
Hi, everyone.
Great. Hello.
Are you ready to give some advice?
Always.
Let's get to it. All right. My 2-year-old goes to daycare and has gone to daycare since he was 12 weeks old. I am very affectionate and we love hugs and kisses. He has learned how to be affectionate and gives a lot of hugs and kisses when he feels loved and cared for or wants to show someone else that he loves or cares for them. He has a very limited vocabulary. I have learned that he has been kissing other kids at daycare, and the daycare has stated that they have begun to put him in timeout because of it. Showing affection and other feelings are part of his development, and I feel that the discipline that they are giving him tells him it's wrong to show his feelings. Does anybody have advice for how to positively reinforce the behavior of just kissing family and not friends? And maybe how to have a conversation with the daycare to not discipline my child for showing his feelings? Maybe does anybody have a plan that we can work together and to get on the same page? Advice?
Oh, I love this little boy's heart.
I know. God,
He seems like such a sweetie. So, I mean, the thing with my kids, I've had to be very mindful about teaching them about other people's choices. And I know he's 2. This is a hard concept to nail in it too, especially with a boy who has a limited vocabulary. But the way I would practice at home is when you're going to do a kiss, ask kiss, yes, no, kiss, yes, and like kind of start to teach him, like, you need to ask somebody before you kiss them. And I know it's hard with little kids, but it's really, they could get in trouble at school. That's really what it comes down to. And in trouble in life if they don't learn the concept of other people get to have their choices too, and you get to have your choices. But if someone says no, that means you don't do anything, right? It's that early concept. I know consent is like a buzzword right now, but it's really just a common decency type thing. You need to teach your children to understand other people's boundaries, but he's 2. I don't necessarily agree with the daycare
on the timeouts
punishing him for this. I think, like she said, a reinforcement type of thing would be much better. So I think what she should do is talk to the daycare and say her concerns and start to work with him at home about something like a positive type reinforcement thing, like asking for a kiss and learning how to say it when someone says no, you stop.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to think back because my son is 6 now, but I mean, it's hard to think back and remember what exactly works, and it totally depends on the kid. But I would just work with him at home about learning how to understand other people's boundaries, which is hard because I've been there and my son wasn't super vocal at 2 either. So I understand where she's coming from, but I don't like the fact that they're punishing this at daycare.
No, I don't like that. So I raised a daughter who doesn't always understand personal space and can be a somewhat large violator of it for kids, for everybody, right? And so it was definitely a very long and challenging road for us when, I was growing up, because like, and I think one of the more challenging things with this son, particularly given his age, is even for when she became 6, 7, 8, 9, teaching her the cues to understand, this means okay and this is no, right? Versus, because people don't always just expressly verbalize things. You can definitely pick up from body language, what's a good environment and what isn't.
Yeah.
And teaching her those cues was one of the most challenging things I did as a parent, because it was not innate to her to look at those and to interpret them and to read them. And so I so feel for this mom, because you can talk to your son only so much about it, but ultimately, like, you've got to teach him the cues around this. And I agree on the asking consent. That's a great first step, but it's so much more than that, right?
I know. It's just the first step. It's really complicated.
Yeah.
I do not relate to this question at all because find a more least affectionate person than me. Seriously.
Okay, no, I'm up there.
I am like, please do not come near me. I love this.
This is my space.
Like, this is me. Don't touch me. But I like kind of both of your guys's, you know, social cues and also consent. And I think maybe she can find another adult, whether the father's in the picture, like the mom or grandma or grandpa, and maybe role play. Like, hey, can I give you a kiss? The grandpa would say no a couple of times, or the dad would say no a couple of times, and you're like, okay. Or do like some sort of like a shrug, and then like, okay, that means no. And like maybe just like while you're around him, like have these different sort of scenarios. So maybe he does start to pick up like, oh, okay, not everyone wants me to kiss them.
Yes.
Everyone should, though.
I know.
2 years old. I'm sure he's adorable.
When it comes to a 2-year-old, two-year-olds can invade my space. Anyone else
it's
cannot.
true. It's true.
I always welcome a kiss from a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Don't forget to send us over your questions so we can answer them here. Bye.